Check it out, we rapping for the Texans. We'll be there, Crenshaw Bridge, we flexing. Houston rap style, we bringing the heat. Talking Texas football, nothing compete. Got the best podcast, the loudest in the game. Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Remember the name, we talking draft picks. We talking defense, we break it all down. No nonsense. H-Town with the Run Showdown. On the mic, talking Texas football. Every Wednesday night, with special guests dropping knowledge. Taking the stage, Bo Diggity and Crenshaw Briggs. Be holding it down in the H-Town, wiping it down. Talking touchdowns in H-Town. Houston culture, we holding it down. Talking news and rumors, keeping it real. No filter, we got the Texans appeal. The Lone Star City, we're living it up. Talking all things Texas, we can't get enough. From the football field to the concrete jungle, we're ripping H-Town. Ain't nothing humble, bitch.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Texans Fan Battle Podcast, brought to you by Fan Battle Sports. I'm your host tonight, Matthew Briggs. As always, I have my amazing trio. With me, I got Mr. Kenneth. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. What's up, everybody? How y'all feeling?
And, of course, we got the TikTok sensation himself, Mr. Bo Diggity.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight, man? What's up? What's up?
Guys, we got a special guest. He's my favorite in the loop member. Figgy's killing it. Landry's always a laugh, but, I mean, the guy who can smoke some barbecue has a special place in my heart. We got Mr. John Lopez from In the Loop. How you doing, John?
I am fantastic. What's up, fellas? Except for this, let me apologize to all the viewers right now. Still got a little bit of a nose thing going on from some sunburn and some goggles that went awry when I was on vacation. But other than that, I'm fantastic.
I was about to say, you know how hard it was trying to find a picture of you with not a Band-Aid on the internet? I was like, man. All right, kill me, John. Kill me.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all right. I'm better.
There you go. Well, We just had the draft. Before we talk Texans draft, NFL draft, John, other than the Texans, who did you think killed this year in this draft?
Oh boy! Well, the first thing that came to mind was obviously the first pick overall with the Bears. I mean, Caleb Williams. I mean, that's a no-brainer. That's easy because he was number one overall. But I'm telling you, I hate to say this because it's a team that we don't like. It's a team that I don't think is going to be real. It could be a thorn in the side. I kind of like what the Colts did, man. I think the Colts had a pretty good draft. That's one for sure, especially with Latu as the end. I think in the AFC, the Chiefs somehow, some way figured out to get better. So the interesting thing about that is we're having different conversations now with the Houston Texans. I mean, we're having conversations about this being a legit contending team. So those are teams that conceivably could be right in between you and contention. So yeah, we're not just talking about building a team anymore or looking at maybe this prospect does this or this prospect does that. This is a squad that we think is going to contend, and now you got to start thinking those ways, with the guys between you.
Absolutely. Bo, who do you think killed the draft?
You know what? He said other than the Texans. Let me see. I'm trying to think. You know what? I don't think it really was a team that actually, just killed it. I feel like this draft was, I don't want to say a mediocre draft, but I feel like they're really, other than I guess Caleb Williams against the quarterbacks, I don't really see game changing out the gate players in this draft. You know what I mean? I feel like they're okay, but there's no one to be like, oh my God, this team got this guy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I feel like last year that was for us, CJ Stroud, because we really need a quarterback. And then us trading to get Will Anderson, it made everybody go, whoa, we got this guy. But this draft, they were need players for like piece. Like if your team was missing a piece, this is what this draft was about. It wasn't about getting that game changer, franchise momentum person. Other than I believe everyone think Caleb Williams is that guy because the Bears stayed at number one and got him. But other than him, I don't really see no other player that was like, oh, we need to have this guy. I guess if you want to say crushed it, other than the Texans, I guess give it to the Bears for staying strong and getting their quarterback and not feeling pressure to trade away. You know what I mean? So
and getting the wide receiver. That's why I like the Bears. They got the quarterback and the receiver.
Correct. So I would give it to the Bears.
Yeah. Kenneth, what about you? What's your thoughts?
Man, I'm agreeing with Crenshaw. I was just thinking this whole time, the Eagles. I really feel like the Eagles. It was so successful that they stayed where they was at. I mean, they made some trades in the second and third, but it just for them to stay where they was at in the first round and get Quentin what's his last name? Quentin Mitchell.
Yeah.
They got their cornerback, they future cornerback, and then they got some other players. And
Cooper Jean,
Cooper Jean, and they got them back to back.
Yeah.
They got two cornerbacks back to back, and then they got
They got the running back I wanted. They got Will Shipley.
They got Shipley, but they got some other guys too. Like it's like they were just hitting on different guys, and it's like, man, throughout the whole draft, they were just getting players that could possibly come in and be good fill-ins, and you know what I'm saying, to help contribute year one. Some of them may not contribute year one, but at the same time, most of them gonna have bright features. But I feel like the Eagles crushed it, and I kind of agree with Bo. On the like there weren't really too many flashy picks, you know what I'm saying? Like except for Caleb Williams. I agree to that. Like I feel like a lot of teams, getting these guys that they need to come in to help contribute so they can try to win.
I think the Bears. I mean, I think the Eagles. After that Jalen Reagor mishap, that they really been doing their due diligence and killing in the draft because that was a miss. We could have had Justin Jefferson.
Could you see if we did get Will Shipley, he would have so many sponsors by Simply Donuts, like it'd been unreal. The man would be cakes and donuts and kolaches. Like
I don't think we want that. I don't think we would want a player that's going to be sponsored by Shipley just getting any kind of free Shipley donuts anytime.
Hey, what if he doesn't like Shipley's, man? What if he's something else?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you don't like Shipley's, but maybe that's just my opinion. But I would have to say the Eagles, but I think a lot of people are going to frown upon this one and disagree with me. But I think the Commanders.
I like the Commanders pick. I like the Commanders draft.
I thought they had the best quarterback in the whole draft. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be the best one out of the draft. And the picks after
That's
that,
how they use them though, because they never do good with quarterbacks. They gotta, take care of their business.
Different quarterback.
They just don't use them.
Different coach, different scheme. So this is a perfect setup for them, So go ahead.
No, go ahead. Because all I was going to say is on the Commanders, Jaden Daniels. I mean, he was my favorite quarterback, even ahead of Caleb Williams this year. I voted for him first place with my Heisman vote. We were talking a little bit off air. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be great, but they also got Luke McCaffrey, which maybe they reached a little bit when they got him, but you can't doubt the bloodlines there.
And I forget the running back they got, but they got a solid running back too. Wasn't it Blake Curran?
Well, they got the tight end Ben Sinnott from well. Yeah, so they had a good drive. I like the Commanders. I almost said the Redskins.
Yeah, I did too. I had to stop myself. I was like, "Whoa, not cancel me today." So
yeah, exactly.
Well, let's get into the draft. Reason why we're here, the Texans draft. John, I'll start with you. Any of these picks, just like Bo said, a lot of these picks, period, wasn't really like off the board, right? Like, boom, look at this name. Does any of these names kind of surprise you that the Texans went after them?
Yeah, absolutely. And see, I think what's interesting about this with the Texans draft, you can kind of sense like there's a lot of trust with Nick Caserio. So nobody's like torching this draft, but nobody's over the top either. Because I think people trust Nick Caserio, but all of these first names here, actually the first four for sure, no one like us pundits and fans and the national experts, nobody really pigeonholed those players to come to the Texans. So because of the pre-draft chatter, when it didn't happen, people were like, well, I didn't know Lassiter was going to be. I thought it was going to be Kool-Aid McKinstry. Well, that doesn't mean Lassiter is a bad pick. And for all we know, even though DeJean and Kool-Aid were drafted right ahead of him, hell, I mean, Nick Caserio could have had Lassiter ranked higher than both those guys anyway. I think it's the familiarity. I think it's part of it was, kind of the buzz going into the draft. It didn't. Their draft didn't reflect what we all thought they were going to do. So people are sort of like lukewarm. But these are good picks to answer your question. The only one I question is Blake Fisher, and I'm still questioning it after hearing Nick Caserio today on our station, because this is a win now mode team. This team is ready to, you can tell, but with all the moves they made in free agent. So why the heck are you drafting a tackle with your second pick in the second round that you're admitting is going to be maybe a swing tackle, maybe he'll play, maybe he won't. I mean, I get that you need tackles. Nobody's ignorant here. But when you had players available with that second pick, like running backs, which could have been a really good impact immediately for a win now team, like a safety, like the kid from Georgia was available, I believe, when they drafted Fisher. So that would be my only question mark. I like Bullock, intrigued by Jamal Hill. I need to see him in training camp, and I love Kate Stover. I think Kate Stover might be the first, might have a really good chance to if not start, at least start if they go 2 tight ends.
Gotcha. Okay. So I did want to ask you a question though, John. How surprised were you that a defensive tackle wasn't taken in the first couple picks?
I really wasn't that surprised, but that's sort of my personal bias, because I was all about a linebacker. To me, that was a bigger surprise than anything. You were sitting right there. Edgerrin Cooper was a very highly regarded player that was available when you were picking. I remember we were sitting there, at Daily Sports Club, and I'm like, okay, he's there, and they didn't draft him. I was a little more surprised with linebacker, and it goes back to my point that I just made. They had all these needs that they filled. The only need that they really didn't fill from the roster as it was being constructed this offseason is that other linebacker position, because obviously you got Alshire in the middle, you got Christian Harris, who you love, and then your other 2 linebackers are Jake Hansen and Toto. So I really thought that was a bigger surprise not getting a linebacker.
So I heard you and Landry talk about yesterday, and I kind of agree with you. I know you said today that Nick Caserio came on. He said he's a swing tackle, but I don't think he's going to come on and say we got Blake Fisher because we want him to replace Titus Howard. I in my opinion, that's why we got Blake Fisher in the second round, because hot take, I think Blake Fisher will end the season at starting right tackle, either due to injuries or performance.
I'm not even so sure that's that hot a take, to be honest. To me, I was going to use this analogy on the show today, and I forgot, so I'm going to use it here. I don't know how many golfers we have here or watching, but a lot of times when you hit a ball and you think it might have gone out of bounds, you hit a provisional ball, right? Just in case that one did go out of bounds. Now, it might not have. You're still going to play it, but this Blake Fisher pick to me was like a provisional. Like they still want Titus Howard to be the guy. They've invested so much in him, literally. And Nick Caserio, even though we have all this trust in him and he's been doing such a good job, I mean, it would be a horrible look for him. It'd be a horrible look for him if Titus Howard is not the guy. So I think it's like, okay, we think that he's going to be good. Maybe he's going to be good, but let's go ahead and hit this provisional shot with Blake Fisher.
And so I was watching a live stream. I think it was with Brown Chubby Bear guys killing it over there on Texas 22. They had Jason Braddock on there, and I like what he said. He said this pick proved to you that Nick Caserio is not just planning on plan A. He's not putting all his baskets on plan A. He's putting his baskets on plan A, B, C, and D. And that to me is solidified that pick. I mean, it's true, right? Like Titus Howard got hurt twice in 2023. correct me if I'm wrong, John. I don't think he finished the whole season healthy, right? Has he
No.
finished? Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, why not?
Mhm.
And yeah, he's been good, but has he been great? Has he been how much we've been paying him for? I don't think so. I don't think he's worth that much.
No, I
But
agree.
again, there's a reason why I'm out here and Nick Casario is up there. Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe he sees something I don't. But
Mhm.
that's just my opinion. Well,
I think I think he's always planning 2 or 3 steps ahead, and so I see what he's. I don't think he's lying. I just think it was a head scratcher because he's a little bit careful with Titus Howard and
mhm.
had to be to protect himself, even though there's going to be there were some other needs.
Right, right. And I also seen a lot of more research I did on Blake Fisher because I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't think offensive tackle was gonna go this high, so I didn't really
Mhm.
look into these guys. So the more research I did, I guess his run blocking is the best in the whole draft. So I mean, maybe that's look. I love LT, but his run blocking is not that great. Tyus Howard is nowhere to be found. Is on the milk carton. So maybe there's hey why not? You
Yeah.
know. So I like it. Kenneth, what's your thoughts on it?
So as far as the first pick, and let me start off by saying this. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I did not know not one player we drafted. I did not look into not one player we drafted. I'm gonna be totally honest.
Is that
But
after Lassiter or Lassiter included?
last one included, I'm being totally honest. I'm being because I didn't really watch Georgia that much. I
Yeah,
watched
yeah,
them a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit, but I didn't really watch them that much. But yeah, the whole draft, and I was just like, I told one of my homies, I was like, man, I did not know not one person that we drafted. I'm gonna have to get
Mm,
to doing my homework. So I did my
mhm.
homework, and Lassiter, man, the only thing I gotta say about him is he can't catch. That's it. Everything else is on point. His he gonna have a lot of PBUs on this
Got you.
team. I know that for sure. I don't know about picks. I don't maybe that could change, you know what I'm saying? He get better hands throughout his seasons, but I don't think he's gonna get the picks, but PBUs he gonna be very great at that. He good at finding the ball. He's not good at bringing it in. I mean, maybe that's something that can be
Mhm.
worked on, but I do like that pick. And as far as Blake, like John said, that was a head scratcher for me. Like I was confused on that too, because I mean, I wasn't really expecting us to take a running back with the second pick, because I know how people say how
Yeah.
much running back is not that value that early,
Mhm.
but I wasn't happy with the late pick with the running back. Taking them back, I think it was like the fifth or sixth round. We took a
Yeah.
running back, and I was just like, man, what's going on? Like we could have got some, especially if you take Blake Fisher. I mean, I felt like, man,
Yeah.
we probably could have took a running back right there. I mean, that's one of the things that we really, really need, because at the end of the day, we gotta hope that Damian Pierce is gonna, come in and be good with the zone scheme and make sure that he's ready to be able to operate in that zone scheme. We don't know if he is or not. And then, I mean, I guess they are really trusting that he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, Matt, like you say, is the reason why Nick up there, we out here. But at the end of the day, I'm hoping, like, hey, I hope DP do come out to be great in that zone scheme, because we're gonna need it. I mean, at the end of the day, we probably gonna be ending up have to hope for somebody to get cut from other teams. You know what I'm saying? After the training camp, it might have to come to that. But hopefully, it doesn't come to that. But as far as like the other picks, the safety, I like him. He's a ball hawk. You know what I'm saying? Kind of, you need to get some more size on him. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen. We're gonna get more size on him. So I'm not too worried about that. But he's definitely a ball hawk, and I like how he flies around. He's fast, and he actually got some heart to him. He make big hits too for his little size. So
Yeah.
I can just imagine what happens if he gain more weight. Get beef up a little bit more, and you know what I'm saying. He gonna definitely probably be a special guy as long as he learn and soak in all the knowledge from the vets and things like that. So, and as far as everything else, the running back that we took, he cool. I honestly just wanted a running back earlier, but hey, it is what it is. We got the guy. He's not bad. He's explosive. I just wish we got a bigger back, because running backs like that, I mean, they cool, and of course for the passing out the back, catching out the backfield, type of things like that. But as far as like running through the gaps, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But we're going to see. I mean, we do have the DP. We do got missing. But is that guy going to be that third back for us? I'm not sure of that. So I'm honestly looking forward to see what happens throughout training camp and see how DP is looking, and hopefully he's looking well. And then also hopefully we can get a running back from another team that gets cut.
I think you're right on the running back position. Let's just be honest, it's thin. Like Joe Mixon is in terms of proven commodities. Joe Mixon is going to be really good. I think he's going to be really good. He may not have been their first choice, but he's going to be good. You're right. I mean, Dameon Pierce, all the evidence we have is that he's not good in the zone scheme. Like they tried to force feed him. You could tell they like him a lot. They stuck with him longer than they should have. They like him, and they tried to force feed him into this system, and it just didn't work until finally they said, "Well, screw it. We got to try to win some games. We need Singletary out there," and they finally made the move. And Daria Gumbawale is a special teams guy. He's like one snap away right now. He's like one snap away from being in the rotation. So definitely thin at the running back position.
Yeah. So I know you said, John, on the show yesterday that you would like to bring back. Who would you like? Because I mean, we had
in the draft.
Yeah, because other than Jonathan Brooks, when we picked Fisher, everybody was there for the taking.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen one maybe in the third round. I think there were some. Now, if you want to reach it in the second round, that's fine. But I would have liked to have seen someone like Trey Benson, the kid out of Florida State. Now, maybe I believe he kind of went in the top of the third round, so you might have had to move up for him. But you could have maybe used the second round pick on him. Like, that's a player right there. And it's funny because Trey Benson is one of those guys, kind of like Nick Caserio was talking about with Lassiter. You know, he doesn't have good speed. You know, you talk about his ball skills. He's a player, man. I watched a lot of Georgia just because, as you can see up there, you know, I'm an A&M fan, so I watch a lot of SEC. And he is a player. But the 40-yard dash clock doesn't lie. He ran a 4.6 plus. So I think Benson is kind of like that too. Really fast on the field, but doesn't necessarily have that clock time.
I like it. I wanted Jordan's teammate in Louisville, Isaac Guerrero. I don't know how you say it. I'm probably murdering it. But I like Jordan too. I thought he was a good pickup. I wanted him to come to the Texans. I thought he was going to go in the 5th round. We got him for a 6th, so that's a steal to me. So I can't complain. Hopefully, we pick somebody on the waiver wire. Just like you said, John, it's a snap away from being Dare out there. He's not going to be kicking field goals, so you know we can't be having that. Yeah. But what's your thoughts on this draft?
I you know what? Granted that we didn't have a 1st round pick because we traded away, but I'm gonna give them I'm gonna give them a B plus. I'm giving a B plus. I'm surprised that D'Amico didn't go get no more Alabama guys. Like I was looking for an Alabama guy in this draft, and they ain't draft one. I thought he was gonna build an Alabama super team or something because he had Henry To'oTo'o, Will Anderson Jr., Christian Harris, but they didn't touch no Alabama guys. I wish if they did move up, it would have been a move up to get Sweat, because the fact that the Titans got him, it's gonna be a problem. Our interior offensive line isn't as good right now, so we got to deal with that. But other than that, like I said, I give him a B plus, man. I give him a B plus. The cornerback had to be taken because Steven Nelson is gone. A lot of injury prone guys in that position. Safety, I was surprised safety so high because of how much they love Petrie. I guess not Petrie, but Jimmy Ward. But I guess because he's injury prone, you have to get a safety. I just wish they would have took a tackle earlier, an interior guy earlier for defense, because we really gonna need that help. We're really gonna need that help right now after losing Collins and Rankin. So I would love to see what their plan is. Even though he rotates, D'Amico rotates the guys out a lot for the D line. I would love to see who will get that starting position out the gate week 1.
Okay.
Yeah,
it gotta be I gotta be D'Amico, huh?
I think what they're going to do is sub him in. And then, they're going to have a lot of players, sort of rotating in there.
Mhm.
But Autry, ultimately, when it comes to cutting time, I think it's going to be Autry with the two ends, Daniil Hunter, especially on passing situations.
Yeah.
Because then you have Daniil Hunter and you got Will Anderson. Then you throw Autry in there, who can bring a lot of pressure. I think that's where he's going to come in. But other than that, they've got some guys that on the defensive side that I think are just kind of rotational. Fatukasi, of course, Settle they brought in, and then of course they got their normal guys, Heinisch and Khalil Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I and also got that that tackle from the Jaguars.
Auburn. Oh, you talking about it?
Yeah, that Patuski, but
Fatu,
Fatukasi,
like
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, see it.
I think he'd be there more for the run stop game, because he did play some good run stops. So, but yeah, it has to be Autry, right? I mean, still with those three guys, that's going to be a dangerous.
I love it.
Scene. Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I mean, the best way to help guys like Laster, Henderson, Jeff Okuda get to the quarterback, right? Don't let the quarterback hit.
Did they
get after the quarterback.
Bring back Tart?
No,
or is he not on the team anymore? He's gone.
I haven't seen him now.
He went to Miami.
The last couple games of the season.
Yeah, he went to Miami.
Miami, got you. Okay.
Yeah, where he's from. So, well, Crenshaw doesn't like it because of trading our first round pick. John, what do you think? Now that you see how the draft fell, do you think we should have traded that draft pick then, or wait a little bit?
Well, here's how I would put it. Here's how I would put it, and I said this. I said this on the show today, actually. Like even though it wasn't apples to apples, like you didn't trade that first round pick for Stephon Diggs. In essence, you got Stephon Diggs, and then you move that pick to Minnesota, got the other second. So let me put it this way. All right, so the Texans were 23rd. Let's say they had that pick. Would you? And in fact, a wide receiver went at 23 overall. It was Brian Thomas, the kid out of LSU. The other receivers that went in the first round behind Brian Thomas were Xavier Worthy, and then also Leggett from South Carolina.
Yep, South Carolina. Yep.
So I love all three of those guys. But would you take any of those three guys over Stephon Diggs this year if you're trying to win? The answer is no.
No.
So the answer is no. Even though that wasn't necessarily the trade you made, Diggs, for that pick, or whatever. In essence, that's what you were going to try to get, a wide receiver, if you didn't have Diggs, right? So I would not trade Diggs for, even though I love those guys, especially Worthy, actually Leggett too. But I really love all three of those kids. I wouldn't trade him for that. So that's why I don't have a problem with it.
I tell you, the receiver I like is Keenan Coleman, only for one reason.
The way he is.
Yes. I don't know if you didn't see his draft post draft conference or whatever. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
Talking about how to get cheap suits, where to go get discounts. Like the dude's a gem. I think Buffalo got a good one out of him. So
hey man, I get my stuff at TJ Maxx sometimes.
Hey,
exactly.
He's speaking my language.
I tell myself
my language.
Balling on the budget, right? I get it.
Anytime somebody hard back to like, the first round pick this year, we have one. I just tell myself that was Will Anderson Jr. That's all I'm gonna tell myself, and that gets me through the day.
Yeah.
That this first round pick that we did not have this year was because of last year we got Will Anderson. So we'll just keep it going, just keep it moving. Everything gonna be all right.
Yeah.
No, Nick did say that he did confirm that he tried to move up into the first round and tried to move a lot in the draft, but he said the conversation just wasn't there. Are you okay with it, or do you wish he would have pressed the button and just go with it?
Totally okay with it. Totally okay with it, because look at the bodies you got, the depth you got here. You were going to have to trade either maybe next year's second, the one you just got, which kind of defeats the purpose of the trade that you made. You know what I mean? Because you got that from the Vikings. So I'm totally okay with it. And I got a hunch that that was one of those non-starters for him as well. Like he wanted to trade some picks, he would just to move up a little bit, but that would have been a lot of value, especially on draft day, to trade that.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people was upset too about the last year pick because, like you said about Trey Benson, he ran a 4.62 in his 40. Are you concerned about his speed, or it'll come to him?
I'm telling you that I am. I have no doubt about him as a player. I mean, you watch him. You heard Kirby Smart talking about him. The way he just raves about him as a player. The fact that he could have come out early and missed the bowl game, but still played in it. I have no questions at all about Lassiter as a player. But man, this is the NFL. I mean, at 4'6" cornerback, you just don't see those guys. You just don't see a 4'6" cornerback. That you have to be 4'3", 4'4", man. You have to be, and that's 0.2 of a second. That's a lot of separation when you got guys, coming at you that are big time NFL receivers. So I love the guy, love the pick. Don't doubt him as a player, but that speed is a concern, flat out.
Yeah. Especially with the Chiefs going out to get Worthy, right? Like, I mean, because that's who's going to be put on him is Worthy, right? Lassiter and Worthy. So I mean, what's going to happen when he just toasts them in the dirt?
I mean, look at this division: Adonai Mitchell, Christian Kirk. I mean, that's just in the division twice a year. So yeah, good player. Sure wish he ran a 4.4.
Exactly. I'm going to need the Miko to be like, all right, don't bite on notable moves. Just do what you got to do, but don't bite. Never gamble. Okay. Yeah. Stay on top every time.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing though too. Though that D'Amico runs a lot of zone, so that kind of helps him out a little bit. But I agree too. I wish it just a little faster, at least 4.4. Guy get under just 4.4.
Yeah.
4.6.
Do anybody know what Stingley ran? Do anybody know?
I was just gonna say. I think I don't know if he ran.
I would have to look it up.
I don't think he did too.
Yeah, he was fresh off an injury, so I don't think he ran the 40.
Gotcha.
I don't think he ran the 40.
All I know, he was an All-American as a true freshman. So I think he can run.
I need to know, right?
I think he can run a little bit. Yeah.
And his game plan right now is proven that he.
Google says 4.44 at his pro day. So
perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's what you want.
I take it. Guys, you got any other questions for John about the draft?
No, I'm pretty good. I'm probably like I said, after looking at everyone now, looking at the list, I think the only one I really would have wanted was the Murphy kid from Texas. Other than that, I didn't really I don't care for the rest of the players that win this first round, so I'm good.
I got a question for Bo Diggity. Is that a New Jersey behind you? I can't tell. Or is that
the new one?
Yeah.
No, it's not the new one. It's not the new one. It's the color rush from last year.
Yeah, that's the color rush. I was like, man, this guy's on top of it. He's on top of it, man.
It's coming though. It's on the way. It's supposed to be here next week. It's coming.
Yeah, good.
Hey, we haven't had you on since the jerseys. Are you fans of them or what?
Yeah, look, I was adamant. If you guys listen to the show, I was trying to be so we got a sneak peek about 5 weeks, I guess, before they were released. And everybody's asking. I said, I'm not going to say. You like them? I'm not going to say. You don't like them? I'm not going to say. I wanted to hear the fan reaction. I wanted to, and then maybe give you my opinion there or whatever. And I'm glad I waited, because when I saw them come out, and I was there when that little pipsqueak number 24 model came out, and so I was laughing. I was like, "What is this?" But when I saw them, the uniform that I liked the best by far was the alternate home blue with the H-Town blue with the H and all that. Yep. And I'm like, I think some people are not going to like that just because it was so different with the helmet. And I was wrong. I mean, I frankly think that that should be the everyday home uniform, because you can only use alternates twice. Or 3 times altogether, but you can use 1 and 1 or whatever. I think that should be the every game home jersey, and then the traditional darker Texan. That could be like a throwback. That should be the alternate. But I think Cal. In fact, I know Cal McNair likes the traditional one. But I wish those other ones would be they're clearly the most popular. They're clearly what people are buying the most of. So maybe one day that'll be the regular home.
I like my favorite is the Battle Red, but that's just my. I mean, with the helmet and the candy red face mask, bro. Like if anything screams H-Town, that's it right there. You know, I love it. So
yeah, I agree with Johnny because the first two that I bought was the alternates, the red and the H-Town. I ain't even bought the white or the traditional one yet. So that was the first ones I knew I really wanted because I'm like you said, they were gonna sell out the fastest, and they have been.
Yeah. And you know, I've been saying it since the rumors came out about the jerseys. It doesn't matter if they even got there on trash bags. As long as they're winning, I don't care what they're wearing.
You and Nick Casario. I don't know. I really don't care about that. Come on, man. Play along a little bit.
You gotta have that energy.
I love that we got new jerseys, but as long as the product on the field matches what they're wearing, that's all that matters. Like I want to win, and the jersey's not going to help me win. So
I will say this: if these uniforms came out when Easterby was still here, everybody would hate him because he had his hands on. It makes a difference that it's a new regime. It really does.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That is a fact.
I got a couple of questions for you about the draft. A lot of people are up and down about Cade Stover. I know. Nick Casario used the elite word like 4 or 5 times. Yeah, talking about the guy. People are upset about his blocking skills, but they don't realize he's only played tight end for 2 years. He was a defensive end, you know, in the Sugar Bowl against Utah or whatnot?
The Rose Bowl. Yeah.
The Rose Bowl, yeah. So, Don, is that something to be worried about, or it'll all come together eventually?
I like him a lot. I think he's obviously when the general manager talks about you like that, you're going to get a lot of opportunity. You're going to get every opportunity to get on the field, and then there's the practical aspect of it. We still don't know what Tegan Quatoriano is. We still don't know what Brevin Jordan is. I mean, they had their moments, but can you say definitively, boy, Brevin Jordan had a good year? No, he had some good moments. You know, Quatoriano didn't have a good year. Dalton Schultz, okay, big catch against the Titans, big catches here, pretty good year. There is an opportunity at tight end right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring in some others off the street. I haven't looked today, like who they might be that are still going to compete at the tight end position. So I think he's going to be, as I said at the very beginning of this. I think if they start with 2 tight ends, I think he's going to be one of them.
I like it. And also, so when was it? Monday, I want to say. Y'all were talking about Hannah and Cal coming on your show prior to it, and then you kind of have a reference to Hannah about being Michael Jordan. How did that come about?
Okay, so it was one of my favorite moments because she was giving a lot of crap to Landry. She came into the studio and just was firing bullets because he didn't like the home uniform, made it very clear, and so she had receipts. She had the receipts, and she was just peppering him with little shots and stuff. Of course, I was just sitting back enjoying it, and so she is. Here was my reference. This was my analogy. And I was very proud of it. It had mixed reviews. So I'm curious how you guys think on it. Some people were like, yes. And some people were like, boy, that's a reach. So when Michael Jordan went into Boston Garden, I believe it was in 87, he was already Rookie of the Year. He was already a scoring champion, or maybe he was a scoring champion that year. He was already the face, becoming the face of the NBA. He was already a superstar, right? But that 63-point game in Boston shot him up to an altogether different stratosphere that he's still benefiting from. And from that moment, he won all the championships and all that. So my analogy was this. Hannah McNair was already a star. Like she had already sort of taken the reins of like one of the big faces of the franchise. And she was with the broom after the Titans game and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so people
the whole Deshaun Watson turned.
Yes. She turned her back. Yes, exactly. So she was already a star. But when she came into our studio and absolutely torched Amy Adams, absolutely, torched, anybody that was criticizing the uniforms like Landry, and really, sort of being very adamant about what this team is going to do, and the coaches and everything. I thought that moment even elevated her higher. So I said, you know what? That was her 63-point game right there. That was her Michael. That was her Michael Jordan moment.
Gotcha.
All in fun. All in fun.
I think I love that about them, like, actually, being in the forefront. Now, I feel like past years, granted, Robert was the owner, so he was more forefront, but after this passing, his son took over. But we really didn't see Cal a lot. I feel like, he was more in the background. No one really saw him, but now to see him on the ground with, the fans and flipping burgers, everybody, and getting people's input and seeing how the fans actually react to it and want changes to be made, and then making those changes happen. Actually listening to people, and I feel like what makes them amazing, bro. Because like most people don't do that. Like, granted, no one wants a Jerry Jones type owner who just makes every hard cut decision, and you like, man, he just ain't letting nobody do nothing. But to see them in the forefront, actually listen, let Nick Casario do his thing, hiring D'Amico Ryans, like just listening to the fans, that's just over the top.
Yeah,
so
I totally agree. I've been in a unique situation. I knew Cal, from the start, even though he was in the background because Bob McNair was always up front. But I remember going to the Kentucky Derby one year and sitting and talking with him, and I've been at some events with him. And even when they were in hiding, I mean, let's face it, you said they were in the background. I mean, frankly, they were in hiding when all the Easterby and Deshaun stuff was going on. And I don't blame them. That was strategic, but that's what they were doing. Even when that was happening, I would tell people, he's really got a lot of personality. He's really got a good head on his shoulders. He has, again, I would tell Cal this. He knows that. He's got kind of an awkward delivery in how he speaks. So it kind of makes people, kind of off-putting a little bit with people. Whereas once you get to know him, you realize this guy's all right. He's good. And then Hannah, as his sidekick, really kind of takes it to another level because she's outspoken. She's unafraid to be herself and all that. So it's a really good combination that was just kind of in the background, and now Houston is getting a good feel for it.
I had to agree with you, right? Like, you can't blame them for being in the background of all that because Jack Easterby and Deshaun both pretty much stabbed them in the back. Like, they were both. Yeah, well, just those two. Like, nobody thought Deshaun Watson was going to do all this. Nobody knew that Jack Easterby was calling people's mama and stalking them into the hotels and saying you have too many baby mamas. No, nobody knew that. I mean, you're supposed to be a church going minister, and you're doing this stuff, like you're passing hate. Like, ain't that the last thing you're supposed to do? So I can see why, because I mean they were blindsided, right? Like they did not. Nobody saw this. Like, if you had this on your Houston Texans bingo card, turn that motherfucker in because you're winning $1 million. Like,
never.
Absolutely. So I can see why they did it, right? But I agree with you guys. I'm glad they're out in the front, especially Hannah. She is the wonder kid. But my comparison, I like the Michael Jordan, but I got to me it's a moment. It has to be the Larry Bird All-Star game when he comes in with the starter jacket and say, which one of you bleepers gonna finish second? Absolutely. Yeah. So that to me is Larry Bird, but I like the Michael Jordan. I don't know why Landry's giving you so much crap, maybe because she roasted him so bad, but
yeah. That's probably it.
Well, John, I got one more question before we let you go. Back in the day, you used to do Houston radio with Nick Wright. Now he's one of the most viewed guys on ESPN and whatnot. Are you proud of where he's become, or does he still get a little annoying?
I love that guy. I was going to say kid, but like from the moment he came in, we connected big time. I mean, absolutely big time. And yeah, I was actually texting with him last week because he recently had his official wedding. He's been married, but recently had the I guess the reception and party and all that stuff. So I was kind of congratulating him on that because I was out of town, couldn't go. But he is an absolute superstar, and I told him early on because obviously ambitious, and he was younger. When we were doing the show together, I told him, I would be disappointed if you didn't make it nationally, because he was trying to like finagle, like, where should I go? What's my next move? I was like, dude, you get yourself that, because he had an agent. I said, you get your agent to start banging the drum, and you go wherever it needs to be to get that national. He's a superstar. He's a superstar, and I love him.
So you knew that was the step he was taking, huh?
100%. I knew he was going to be. So sometimes you just see it. It's like when you're watching a true freshman in college that you're like, okay, that guy's going to be an NBA All-Star one day. You're like, okay, you can just see it. You can just feel it. Yeah.
Kind of like what we said in pre-production about Figgy. Figgy's he's going to take off. Like, the dude is just killing it on social media.
He's just so likable. Yeah. Like Figgy is impossible not to like. And he hustles. He really busts his ass. Hell, he's going to Astros games right now, which, shouldn't be a surprise. He does everything, but really good on social media too.
Yep. And he catches all the great moments, like Hannah McNair sweeping,
he did that.
Yeah. And then Cal and Hannah throwing up the 8s on his Instagram. Like, he catches all the great moments. So,
yeah.
And
I'm really proud of him. He's the same age as one of my sons. And I know his background. I won't get into it too much, but he was up against it as a kid in Cleveland, big time, like really up against it. And now look at him. So yeah, I'm really proud of Figgy.
Hey, always great to see somebody blow up, no matter what,
Yeah.
So, like you said, Figgy's such a great person. It's hard to hate him, even though he likes the Cleveland Browns. We'll let it slide this time.
But the thing is, he's really he's become
he's adopted. Man. Yeah, I know
he's become H-Town. A lot of times, like, you would think, okay, if the Browns face the Texans in the regular season, he might still in his heart kind of be pulling. I never saw that. Like, he was pulling for the Texans, man. And I'm seeing him on the air, off the air. It was legit.
Yeah, we had him on. What was it, Bo? Like 2 or 3 weeks after. The Browns game. And we asked him about that Browns guy saying that the Texans imported all the crowd noise or whatnot. He's like, man, they don't know what he's talking about. Like, he was teammates for sure. So gotta love it. Well, in the wise words of our boy Crenshaw, this is the worst part of the show because it's the end. John, why don't you tell everybody where we can find you and what you got cooking, that way we can support you?
Yeah, man. I know you probably got some, obviously Sports Radio 610, 10 to 2 every day with Landry and Figgy. And I love doing that. I also am, I'm sure you got some fishermen, that follow you. And, I have the Bite Me podcast, which actually we just uploaded an episode this morning. So you can listen to the Bite Me Fishing podcast there. And OG Sauce, man. Hey, I'm actually wearing the shirt today. How about that? Get yourself some OG Sauce at ogsauce.com or wherever you can find the retailers, and that's on the website as well. So I appreciate it, man. You guys have been great. I really appreciate what you're doing.
I appreciate you having come on. I do got to say about the OG Sauce. I live up here in Kansas City, and when I introduced the OG Sauce, they're like, "Ooh, this is it." I was like, "Well,
hey, I sent some to Nick. I sent some to Nick in New York. Speaking of Nick Wright, I said, "Sorry, I'm gonna miss your wedding, but here's some real barbecue sauce," because he's from Kansas City. And so,
hey, they love it. They love it up here. So I got guys asking, "Hey, you got some more of that sauce?" No, I don't, because it's all mine.
We can take care of you, man. We can take care of you.
Yeah. Bo, what about you? Where we can find you at?
You can find me at all social media platforms at Bo Diggity 713. Y'all know the deal, man.
And Mr. Kenneth.
Y'all can follow me at on Instagram and YouTube, Kenneth the Messenger. And yes, sir. Go Texans.
Yes, sir.
You can find our brother Crenshaw at Fifth Word Crenshaw. He can't make it today. Follow me at A1 Day One. Texans everywhere. We do got a special contest going on. You can get yourself a hat, shirt, and a new jersey that we were just talking. easy way to do it. Here's a video to explain what to do.
Here with a huge announcement for the Texas Fan Battle Podcast. And we are giving away 3 Houston Texans items. You get a hat, t-shirt, or a jersey. So get your drip before the new season starts. All you gotta do is follow these simple rules right here. Follow those simple rules and you in for the raffle. So I know the deal, man. We out.
So all you gotta do is subscribe and just spread the word. The June 5th will be the end of the contest. So make sure you do that and follow the podcast, the Texans Fan Battle, everywhere. Until then, have a great night. John, again, thank you for coming on. We got to do this again.
Oh, yeah. Just say the word, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Everybody, see you later.
Yo, check it out. We rapping for the Texans. Put it in, Crenshaw.